Hey everybody, T here, bringing you another video, and this one is going to be about the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. That's right, everyone. This video is going to be about Brock Lesnar, and specifically what I think of how they're handling his current run. And what I mean by current run is more his title reign. Because actually current run would be since before WrestleMania. And I'm not going to talk about the Undertaker match. I'm going to be talking about more from since he won the title at SummerSlam from John Cena to now, and how I think they're handling him being a part-time champion. First of all, I think they're handling him really poorly. Not Brock Lesnar's fault. I have no problem with Brock Lesnar not being on TV every single week. He doesn't need to be on TV every single week. A matter of fact, on a lot of podcasts, Jim Ross, he talks about this a lot on his podcast. Again, I like to do free advertising. You can check out those podcasts. But no, I'm gonna give you my opinion though. He doesn't need to be on TV every week, but how WWE is using it is very poorly. Let's get into it. So Brock Lesnar wins the title, demolishes John Cena at SummerSlam, which I really like. I mean, I was never really a big John Cena fan. I respect him. He's been around for 10 years. He really is one of the biggest stars, if we like it or not. If you're not a John Cena fan or not, you got to respect the fact that he's been around for 10 years and he is one of the biggest stars in wrestling of all time. And Brock Lesnar handled it like a squash match. And that was no problem, okay? Then, of course, he was still on TV going in the Night of Champions. Then after Night of Champions, he just disappeared. And WWE has been doing a bad job of handling it, because it's like, whatever happened to the rule, you remember... You remember back in the day, they had this clause: if the champion didn't defend the title in X amount of days, 30 days, 40 days, or whatever, it was stripped, or if he didn't compete in so many days. And you know what the funny thing about it is? Remember Daniel Bryan? Remember that little guy, Daniel Bryan, that won the big match at WrestleMania 30? Remember that little fucker? Well, what did they do with him? They stripped the title. And that was actually like within a week or so, like within a week after like he said he couldn't wrestle. And here we got Brock Lesnar. They're not even addressing that. Like, they're not even addressing that where he is every week. He hasn't been on TV now in like, what, 2 months? Like 2 months, I think, since Night of Champions. If he's gonna be out that long, like, why don't you do like, a storyline, saying, Brock, there is nobody here in the WWE roster that could beat Brock Lesnar. And, have Brock Lesnar say that. Like, there's no one out here that could beat me, or have Paul Heyman say that, And until there is, I'm going to be at home. And if any of you don't like it, you could come over to my house in Minnesota and take it from me, Do something original. And then, when he's at TV, film a lot of footage, okay? Film a lot of footage of Brock Lesnar, like saying, "Oh man, watching Raw tonight," talking about the current events or whatever, saying, I would fuck up Dean Ambrose, I would do this, I would do that, something for we can see Brock Lesnar not every week, but every other week, keep the champion, relevant. And right now they're doing a very bad job of keeping him relevant. And like right now they're like having #1 contender matches, like the one they had at Hell in a Cell for John Cena and Randy Orton. I already told you what I thought about that in one of my previous videos. Again, how they are handling the whole title situation very poorly. I'm gonna talk about it real quick again. They had John Cena and Randy Orton wrestle each other for #1 contendership, and what was so funny was those were the losers. Because in that Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which you guys could check out my breakdown of that pay-per-view, was the main event was Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and they had the losers of the match because they had Dean Ambrose and John Cena wrestle to see who was going to wrestle Seth Rollins, and John Cena lost, Dean Ambrose won, so they rewarded John Cena, and John Cena is the guy that's supposed to be going against the Authority. He's supposed to be the major thorn, so they gave him one hell of a consolation prize. Here you go. You get to wrestle Randy Orton for #1 contendership, and now they never said when that match was going to be. That was back in Hell in a Cell. So now we still have Survivor Series, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match, the TLC pay-per-view. And, you know, we're probably not going to see Brock Lesnar to the Royal Rumble. I hope we would see him at TLC, but he's not. I heard he's not going to appear until Royal Rumble. So what are they going to do to keep Brock Lesnar relevant until January? Yeah, we're in November right now, but that's still a month and a half away. So they're doing a very poor job of handling Brock Lesnar and keeping the title significant. And, you know, and then I thought, well, hey, maybe since Brock Lesnar's gone, maybe they're going to build up the Intercontinental title and United States title to like how it used to be, like how the United States title used to be. If you remember, they were always big names back in the day, like Harley Race, Lex Luger, Barry Windham, and those matches, if the world title wasn't the main event, you would see the United States heavyweight title in the main event. I mean, those titles used to mean something, you know, and why not like build those titles up to, you know, how it used to be. If you were ever going to make those titles mean something, now's the time with Brock Lesnar not being there. But those writers are dumb as hell, and you know what's funny is half of these writers, they're not even wrestling guys. They're like fucking TV show bookers. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Maybe writing cartoons or something. I don't know. But they're not wrestling guys, okay? And then here's another way that they could have did this thing with Brock Lesnar. They could have made it where, okay, Brock Lesnar beat, because whatever was going to happen, Brock Lesnar was going to win the title at SummerSlam, okay? He was always going to win. That was always the plan. Why didn't you have Brock Lesnar beat John Cena, okay? They go into the night of champions and build maybe some sort of stipulation where if he got disqualified or something happened, Brock Lesnar would have lost the title, and maybe Brock Lesnar got mad that this time around John Cena put up more of a fight, and let's say he hit him with like 3, 4, 5 F5s, and let's just say hypothetically John Cena would have kicked out, okay? This time around, you know, keeping John Cena whole, keeping him showing that he had more fight than he did at SummerSlam this time at Night of Champions, and Brock Lesnar just snaps like he's known to do. And let's just say fantasy booking here, this is maybe what I would have did if you knew you couldn't have Brock Lesnar for a long time. Grabbed the chair and just went ballistic, and you know, just went ballistic on John Cena with a steel chair, like busted him open, disqualification. Okay, he lost the title because you made that the rule. John Cena, let's just say hypothetically, this is my own little fantasy book in here, if John Cena before that pay-per-view would have said, hey, you know, if Brock Lesnar gets disqualified, he loses the title, then this way you found a way to get Brock Lesnar off of TV for a while, losing the title without getting his shoulders pinned, keeping him face, keeping him whole, and then you could just continue on with John Cena as champion, or do whatever else you want. Use the Money in the Bank, do other storylines, and then when Royal Rumble came along a few months later, because you have to think that's still a long time away. Because from Night of Champions, like I said, then you had Hell in a Cell, then you had Survivor Series, TLC, then Royal Rumble, and then once Royal Rumble came around, you know, let's just say Brock Lesnar got suspended or something because he was so violent with the chair. Anyways, he comes back at Royal Rumble and says, you know what, I never lost the title, John Cena. You're not the true champion. I kicked your ass at SummerSlam. I got disqualified then, and now I'm getting my title back, and there's nothing you could do about it, Cena. And then he goes to Royal Rumble, beats John Cena, make it a competitive match, beats him there, then goes in the WrestleMania like they want them to do. Because right now I hear the plan for WrestleMania is Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And I'll probably do a video of what I think about that later on as we get closer down. Maybe when we get closer to the Royal Rumble or something like that, I'll probably do a video of what I think about that. And let's just see, anything could change. I mean, Roman Reigns has been off TV for a long time. Let's see if that's still the direction they're planning on doing, which I'm pretty sure they are. You know, it would probably be Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose, and I'm pretty sure they're still sticking with Roman Reigns, but I think my way would have been better, you know. Or like I said, I just named 2 different alternatives they could have did. They could have did much more, but they're handling his part-time very wrong. And like I said, you know, and like a lot of wrestling experts like Jim Ross and other people have said, you know, back in the day, back in the territory NWA days, the champion used to wrestle part-time because he wrestled in every single territory. So you wouldn't see the champion all the time and every week, you know, but they would have such great storylines and other titles and made them so important, it didn't really need that. And then you would have interview segments. It's just the way the WWE is handling this right now. I've named it so many different ways. I think the writing team is just not good, and that's just what needs to change. WWE have the production, they have the talent, okay? They do, okay? They're not doing a good job pushing the talent. Some of them they are, but not with everybody. And the one thing I've noticed about WWE is they do not know how to push more than one person at a time. They may push someone for right now, but then they're like, oh, well, let's push this guy, and then they'll forget about number 1 that they were pushing, and then he goes all the way back down, and then so then they're pushing superstar number B until they get tired of him, then so on and so on. Perfect example was Cesaro, and I'm gonna do a video on Cesaro eventually. And Cesaro, you'll see the same thing. They pushed him after WrestleMania. And then when they're like, hey, let's push Seth Rollins. Let's push Seth Rollins and because we're separating the Shield. Well, Cena, there goes Cesaro. Cesaro's gone. Completely forgot all about Cesaro. They do not know how to multitask. These WWE writers do not know how to multitask about pushing more than one guy at a time. And Brock Lesnar, man, he doesn't give a shit, man. And I don't blame him. I love Brock Lesnar, man. He's sitting at home right now, drinking a beer, hunting deer right now, playing with his little boys, screwing Sable, having a great time. You know, he doesn't care what the WWE's going to be doing with him. I mean, they could have him beat Hornswoggle every week and he wouldn't give a shit. He's getting paid multi-million dollars. It's up to WWE here to say, hey, you know what, we're spending all this money, let's do something significant. But they're not. But anyways, that's what I think what they're doing with Brock Lesnar. Love Brock Lesnar, can't wait to see him, but I think they're handling his whole part-time reign very, very wrong. Anyways, guys, my next video will be doing a preview of Survivor Series, which is going to be this Sunday. I'm going to be breaking down the storylines of Survivor Series, predictions for Survivor Series, and also what I would have did differently storyline-wise, especially on the main event. So, until then, hopefully I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, guys.